People often dream of world tours or plan to do a world tour sometime in their life, if they have a lot of money. Now imagine if your dream is coming true and you're also paid for such a lifestyle. Would you pick this up? This is where the digital nomads come in. The word nomad means a person who travels from place to place, and usually the one who does not have a permanent home. But what is digital nomad? The digital nomads are those who take their passion to an entirely new level by traveling around the world and working remotely. This trend is on rise. But the important question majority of the people don't know is, how can they travel country to country so frequently? How do they earn money? Who gives jobs to such people? How much money is required to travel? How do they plan their life safety? How do they manage their relations? Or what happens to their citizenship? Would they be paying taxes in home country or traveling country? How long do they stay in a place? Blah, 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 blah. If these questions raise curiosity, let's waste no time and understand the trend that is picking up in recent years. Who knows? This nomadic lifestyle can strike a chord within you. What is the definition of a digital nomad? Both digital nomads and tourists share a similar interest in exploring new locations, which is one thing they have in common. However, despite the fact that they both have a passion for exploring new places, digital nomads take their passion to an entirely new level because they maintain a nomadic lifestyle while working remotely online. This way of life is the very definition of living life to the fullest, and it comes with a plethora of advantages in addition to the formation of recollections. Now, coming to our list of questions, you could be asking yourself, how much money may be made by working as a digital nomad? The annual income of a digital nomad can range anywhere from $25,000 to $250,000, which is sufficient for covering their monthly costs, which are normally in the region of $1,000 to $2,000. However, depending on what it is that they do for a job, their income might be able to reach even greater heights. Freelance writing, virtual support, and the maintenance of social media platforms are some of the most frequent forms of distant labor for digital nomads. However, it is important to note that there are digital nomads that work for companies or run their own businesses. According to the findings of several research, digital nomads put in approximately 40 hours of work each week, whether they did so in co-working spaces, hotels, or coffee shops. This was the case regardless of the professions they pursued. Do digital nomads pay taxes? Due to the fact that they are still considered citizens of their home country, digital nomads complete and submit their tax returns there. You can declare that you are not a resident of your home country for tax purposes in order to release yourself from some of the tax obligations you have in your home country. Countries that make it easy for digital nomads to live and work there may also force them to pay taxes. For instance, digital nomads who are in possession of a Thailand digital nomad visa are only required to pay a tax rate of 17% rather than the standard rate of 35%. It can be a hassle for digital nomads to be taxed twice, but with the help of tax perks like the foreign earned income exclusion and the foreign tax credit, they can avoid this situation. Is it possible to lead a nomadic lifestyle with a child? Even if you have children, it is possible to lead the nomadic lifestyle of a digital nomad. Nevertheless, you should be prepared for increased difficulties in both traveling and parenting if you choose this path. And with regard to the education of their children, digital nomads who have families either put their children through an online school or instruct them themselves at home. They have a name for this type of education. They call it world schooling. This educational movement has the goal of allowing youngsters to learn and advance their education by traveling to other parts of the world. Where do the majority of digital nomads decide to make their home? Many digital nomads choose to make their home in Southeast Asian nations because of the relatively low cost of living in these countries. According to the findings of a survey conducted in the United Kingdom, Bangkok, which is located in Thailand, is considered to be the greatest city in Asia and the second best city in the world for digital nomads. However, it is understandable given that the majority of digital nomads are from nations with high living costs, such as the United States and the United Kingdom. When deciding where to settle down, digital nomads take into account not just the cost of living, but also the local climate, the download speeds of the internet, and the general levels of crime in the area. Additionally, this does not imply that countries located outside of Southeast Asia are not appropriate locations for digital nomads in any capacity. In fact, Lisbon, which is located in Portugal, is rated as the finest destination in the world for digital nomads. How long do digital nomads typically remain in a single location? The majority of the time, digital nomads stay put in one location for anything between 1 and 6 months, as stated by digital nomads themselves. However, some digital nomads only spend a few weeks in any given city or country, making it possible for them to live in a number of different countries in less than a month or two. They are successful in accomplishing their goal thanks to careful preparation of their exciting excursion. In most cases, a digital nomad will plan their multi-destination trip by conducting research on the locations that will be included on their itinerary, selecting airlines that offer better deals, and inviting other digital nomad friends in order to reduce costs. Are digital nomads minimalist? Being a digital nomad can require living a very simple lifestyle. Since digital nomads travel a lot, many also live a minimalist lifestyle. After all, having a lot of possessions and transporting them to new countries can be a source of stress. One example of this would be carrying a Kindle and a lot of physical books. They focus on carrying only the necessities for their work and travel. Do digital nomads contribute positively to the economy? The economic benefits of working remotely online can still be significant. There are many reasons why a nation's economy can benefit from the presence of digital nomads. An ideal illustration of this would be an increase in demand for short-term rentals and small hotels. There are also digital nomads who vlog on YouTube and create travel videos in which they show their audience the places they visit, which ultimately results in an increase in the number of tourists. Due to this fact, those working in the tourism and real estate industries can count digital nomads among their most valuable customers. Because of this trend, a growing number of nations have begun providing visas specifically tailored to digital nomads. What's a digital nomad visa? A digital nomad visa is a type of visa that allows remote workers to keep on working while staying in a particular country. Imagine it as an improved version of a travel visa that enables digital nomads to carry out their work in a legal manner and to remain in a country for longer periods of time. Processing and receiving a digital nomad visa can take a few weeks or months, depending on the country they're applying for a visa. For example, it can only take 15 to 30 days when you apply for an Estonia digital nomad visa. But besides Estonia, other countries are also offering visas ideal for digital nomads, such as Germany, Iceland, and Croatia. Can being a digital nomad improve mental health? Being a digital nomad is a double-edged sword. It can improve or worsen your mental health. Recent studies show that digital nomads are more productive, creative, and engaged with their work. But people traveling and working anywhere they want aren't an exception to challenges and struggles. An example would be digital nomads being pressured to succeed in their careers because people have high expectations for them. Working anywhere and anytime you want is often associated with living the dream, which makes it harder for some digital nomads to share their struggles. Another struggle digital nomads have is called travel burnout. Digital nomads who've experienced this struggle combat it with what they call slow travel, focusing on getting to know more about the country they're visiting rather than trying to visit as many places in a short time frame. How old are most digital nomads? You can be a digital nomad at any age, and it's a misconception that a digital nomad lifestyle is only for young people. The majority of digital nomads are millennials, or people in their mid-20s to early 40s. According to research, and roughly half of all digital nomads worldwide are in their 30s. This age group is at the sweet spot for having a secure income that enables them to afford to live such an exciting lifestyle. And research has shown that of all the generations, millennials are the most likely to switch jobs, which is great news for people who work remotely because it gives them more flexibility. Many people in their 40s and 50s also make up a significant portion of digital nomads. Some people even become digital nomads after retiring. One of the primary motivations for them to become digital nomads later in life was the need to combat feelings of isolation. How can digital nomads date? Dating apps are common ways for digital nomads to meet potential partners in addition to doing their business online. Some dating applications are especially dedicated to digital nomads. They also have the opportunity to meet their potential mates in Facebook groups and Slack channels specifically designed for digital nomads to interact with one another. However, online dating is not the only option for digital nomads. For instance, some digital nomads are able to meet the person they will spend the rest of their lives with because of co-working spaces, digital nomad events, and co-living places. The most difficult circumstance for digital nomads is when their spouse does not engage in the nomadic lifestyle. This forces them to maintain a relationship despite the physical separation that it requires. When did people first begin living the life of a digital nomad? The first time people started living like digital nomads was in 1983, when the phrase digital nomad hadn't even been thought of yet. It seems unreal to live in another nation while continuing to work remotely without the need for an office. Because of this, an increasing number of people are entering the field of remote work in the hopes of attaining this way of life, and nations are more than happy to provide their assistance to this endeavor because it is beneficial to their economies.